thank you to our sponsor, MBA Growth Partners.
Hello and welcome to Studio 501c3. I'm your host, Kim Jones, Executive Director of the Nonprofit Village. We feature nonprofit organizations designated as 501c3 by the IRS because they provide a public benefit, and your donations to them are deductible in many cases. We're proud to partner with Montgomery Community Media to feature the county's nonprofit programs that are excellent, tell you about the services that they offer. And today we're highlighting Nourish Now, a unique food bank type program. They specialize in food recovery and providing donations from grocers, caterers, restaurants, bakeries, other food donors for the benefit of individuals and families, shelters, food pantries, and other organizations working to end hunger. And I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to talk with the Executive Director, Brett Meyers. Brett, it's great to have you here.
Hey, thank you. It's great to be here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and my favorite name, my son is named Brett. So
there you go.
Yeah. So the work of your team and volunteers at Nourish Now kind of conjures in my mind the images of this complex system of people moving all over the county, collecting the donations, distributing food. Tell us a little bit more about food recovery. I think a lot of people are familiar with food banks specifically, but food recovery is a little bit different and it's a more complex system.
Sure. So food recovery usually for us consists of perishable foods, meaning there's an event that takes place and we would recover from a wedding, a bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, celebration of any type. And then it's not the food that's out on the floor that's donated, by plate or on a buffet. It's the backup food in the back that never made it out to the actual guests that are at the event. And sometimes, we've picked up food for thousands of people. It turned out to be thousands of meals from DC to Northern Virginia, all throughout. And it's really grown through a lot of catering companies and stuff. So we like to specialize in prepared meals. So we love when we get donations of really anything. The interesting thing is that if we were having lunch somewhere, that's what we get donated. And it's just exciting. And there's a lot of parts to it, but
sounds like it.
Yeah. I mean, so really it's from the timing, the coordination with the catering company, the making sure that we have the proper vehicle.
But how are you even getting to, are you building the relationship with, say, the catering company or the grocer in advance, and then or at event by event, do some of the caterers or restaurants say we're going to have something and you just have to be ready to mobilize?
Yeah, so it's really all three things. So we have set schedules with grocery stores mainly and Targets, places like that, where we go, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we have a pickup window. We have relationships with catering companies where we go every Monday morning or we go every Sunday morning. We still go a lot to Occasions Catering and go Sunday mornings and pack. And we would be there for about 3 hours, and it would be all the leftover food that was coming from the different events. They're fantastic. Great feeling was walking into their big walk-in and a little piece of tape that says Nourish Now on it. And it made me feel like we made it. The press corps is filled with food. So, those are scheduled, but then we get the calls on a Saturday night. It's 10 o'clock and we get a phone call. And hey, any chance you can get here in an hour, hour and a half? We're at blank street in DC, and we probably got 270 to 300 meals left over. Sure, we'll be there.
So my idea of that image in my head is correct, that you're mobilizing sometimes at all different hours of the day and evening. So,
all different hours. It's 24/7. Kind of the craziest just-in-time hours really come from about 8 p.m. till about 1 in the morning, really the latest, depending when a party ends. And we've grown a lot and things have changed as we've continued to grow. We have people and catering companies that call us before where we actually talk to the client that they have and they want to donate the food. And so it's prepared and we have that all scheduled and set up and we're like on call, ready to go. And then there are things that happen like natural disasters like hurricanes and things like that where we're picking up when Pepco came in, we were picking up 8,000 meals a day.
Right.
Breakfast, lunch,
But
and dinner.
how are you repurposing those? I mean,
Sure.
so you pick up at 10 at night. Where do you then immediately take the leftover food from an event?
Sure. We take it back to Nourish Now, where we process everything, weigh it, all the food safety, of course, by the Department of Health and Human Services. And then we usually repackage it into individual meals. So that would basically happen the next morning. We'd repackage it into individual meals, and then we donate directly to families in need. And we donate to neighborhoods surrounding Montgomery County that are in the most need of food and highest levels of food insecurity. And so we're able to serve 80 families at once or 60 families at once with like a partner organization. During the COVID world, we switched what we were doing completely. And now we have 20 distribution sites throughout the county at Montgomery County Public Schools and local churches, where we went from serving about 400 families a week, a 5-day supply of food, and now we're at 2,600 families a week. It keeps counting and keeps going up, a 5-day supply of food. So, in the beginning of, Sorry.
Yeah, so because we're going to have to go to break pretty soon, but I just want to get one quick question in before the break. When you have to step up, do all the partners step up with you? The funders, the county agencies, the food service, the grocers. Does everybody step up with you?
Yeah, it's interesting. We've seen a little bit of everything, but like COVID is definitely the most thing that we couldn't plan on. We didn't know. We learned about it. And I can't say enough about the support of Montgomery County, the government. They've been fantastic to us. We are a get it done organization, and we get it done, and they have backed us, and we've continued to come through with what we say we're going to do. When COVID started, we were getting calls of places closing. We were getting 50,000 pounds of food a day. And we end up finding the locations. And so people have stepped up, and the community has stepped up in a huge way.
Good. Okay. So we're going to take a break. And after the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about continuing to talk about food recovery, the operation, the way Nourish Now helps the children, the families, the shelters, and the food banks. You're watching Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Welcome back to Studio 501c3. I'm Kim Jones, and joining me today is Brett Meyers, the Executive Director of Nourish Now. And Brett, you happen to also be the founder too, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. 2011.
Okay, so let's go back to what we were talking about and pick up on. I want to know what's changed most with the food crisis, especially during the pandemic. Anytime there's an emergency, like you said, hurricanes or any other kind of
government shutdown.
Yeah, government shutdown. There's always emergencies and you have to step up. But what's changed the most with the food crisis during this time? You know, once COVID hit and not a speedy recovery from all of that, what people have had to live through.
We've seen many changes. It started with the unfortunate closing of many places. We picked up from a lot of casinos throughout the area that were donating a lot of food. You know, no customers anymore. Sporting venues we picked up from that, obviously, you know, concert halls. It was the bigger places that were getting the crowds of 5,000 to 50,000 that had food they already ordered, and then all of a sudden, that food is going to go to waste. And so they worked really hard, and they got in touch with us, and we made sure we rallied the troops and we got it picked up. So that began a big influx of food recovery. But then once COVID started to change, and obviously it continued, food recovery slowed down because people weren't ordering the food anymore. And then PPP came in where people were getting funding. And that allowed people to continue to do some stuff and donate some food. We were buying food at a lower cost of prepared meals, and that changed the whole structure for us. And then there was a food shortage, where we couldn't find it. And I can't tell you how many Costco trips my staff and I went on different times to make sure. We decided quickly. We went to the CDC and the Montgomery County's Health Department website. And we learned about COVID as much as we could. And we made a statement back in March about what our response is and what we're going to do. And we never closed. So and you know what? And we've only got a couple minutes left. So I'm sorry that I can't talk to you a little bit more about this, but we'll talk offline because we've got something in common. But we see trails of people all over the country standing in lines, waiting in their cars for boxes of food. Millions of people reporting that they don't have sufficient resources to purchase food for their families. Solutions. Is it SNAP that needs to change? Is it more from the national level that needs to be input? What's the solution? We got about 2 minutes left. Sure. I mean, what we've seen is when from the top, the federal government works with state government and local government and the USDA, and everybody gets involved, where produce is donated and farmers are allowed to produce more produce and get it to nonprofits such as Nourish Now. And we have had good relationships with milk producers. And so we work with the catering companies on the meals. And the problem is when COVID started, there were lines that were huge. And so we were able to serve 300 families at once in the cars. We did some walk-ups, made sure everybody was 6 feet distance, kept it very safe. But but it kept growing. And then we saw a slowdown period, which you're like, okay, great. So things are starting to get back to normal. And now the numbers are increasing again. So it's an ever flowing. So
is this when you now need viewers? To step in, because I know on your website you've got to donate. Is there a way for people to get involved?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's so many things people can do, and we always want safety to be of anybody, of course, to come first. But people can, I mean, financial donations are huge. We've over 800% donated the amount of food that we were donating pre-COVID. And so, people can get involved, can do virtual food drives. They can gather with their neighbors and neighborhoods and collect food. We're donating a lot of non-perishables, but we're also purchasing a lot of non-perishables. So gift cards to Giants and Safeways and Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, those types of targets. It's great. We're over, like I said, 2,600 families getting a 5-day supply of food, and continuously, we continuously be having calls coming in from local government and families in need, and there's just not enough yet. So we're going to continue to move forward, and we're making a big impact. And just we're excited that we're able to help stay healthy and have a voice here on your show. Thank you.
Good. All right, Brett, I want to thank you so much for being here. There's a lot to take in here, and hopefully the viewers can help. To find out more about your programs, your services, visit nourishnow.org on the web, and continue to tune into us. We'll give you more information on the growing needs. Studio 501c3 is your window on nonprofits in Montgomery County. I'm Kim Jones. Join us next time on Montgomery Community Media for more Studio 501c3.